Elizabeth from PSA, specifically talking about their attendance at San Diego Comic-Con and their brand new system of rating comic books.
Yeah.
So what was the reason to, I mean, everyone knows PSA for cards and
Right.
collectibles, so what was the impetus to jump to comic books?
Yeah, I think in general, like PSA, historically, we've been really known for sports, and so especially sports cards like baseball cards, basketball cards. But we've seen a lot of growth in more the pop culture entertainment space. So really leading the charge with that is Pokemon cards and trading card games, which have grown exponentially over the last few years. But also we're growing into other kind of non-sports categories like Funko Pop grading, game grading. And so I think it was kind of surprising that we didn't already do comic grading in some ways. It's such a huge market.
When I got the alert, I'm like, I thought they did it.
I know. It's surprising. And I think it's something that the company has thought about several times over the last almost 30 years. So it's one of the largest markets that we aren't currently playing in. And so it felt obvious in some ways. But I think with all the momentum we're getting just with pop culture in general, it was a great time to add that to our portfolio. Because a lot of people too who grade, Pokemon cards or who grade Funko Pops, things like that, they also grade comics. And so it's important for us to be a one-stop shop and, have all of the offerings. And comics and magazines are such a huge opportunity. So
when it comes to grading, trust is a major factor in it. People trust a company. So if they're coming with you one product, why not come with the rest of them, right?
Right.
So now, you just launched the product. It's available now for people to do. What's the turnaround time most people are seeing for getting their comic books back?
So right now, if you had a modern comic book, the turnaround time is actually 20 days.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that was important to us is we don't have this huge backlog right now. We just opened, so we might as well be, getting through them and getting them back to customers as quickly as we can. Obviously with all the different steps and taking each item, with care and taking the time it needs. But we kind of have that luxury of having a faster turnaround time, and in general we're staffed up to try to move as quickly as possible because it's so important for people to get them back. They don't want to be waiting forever for these items, and it's not the best customer experience, so we're trying to keep fast turnaround times.
Now I know most comic books are kind of uniform in the format of the size, but there are of course larger format comic books, awkward shaped comic books, and I know you're also doing magazines as well as comic books. How do you guys adjust that for the cases? Do you have a myriad of options?
Yeah, so we have 3 different cases. We have kind of our standard case that's for modern books that fits more like the newer stuff that's coming out that is more uniform. So that's probably going to be the majority of what gets sent out. But then we also have a slightly larger case that can fit some of the Golden Age books, some slightly larger comics. And then we have our magazine case, which is our biggest holder. So that is pretty much a catch-all. It should be able to fit mostly everything. We're not doing Life magazines or super, super oversized magazines, but between those 3, we can essentially fit everything. And then we have different options for the interior as well to accommodate different sizes. So we have blisters, which have a bit more flexibility. And then there's a well where if there's certain items that fit dimensions more precisely, we can use that construction as well. So we have a lot of different tools in our toolbox to try to get the best fit so that there's, less than a 16th inch of wiggle room and movement for that item in the holder.
And now, when it comes to, getting the metrics and rating, there's always that fear of am I going to get the right reviewer?
Yes.
Am I going to get the best rating I'm possibly going to get? What is PSA doing to ensure that we have the most accurate, every time review of quality?
Yeah, I totally get that. And you don't want to make it feel like you are sending it in and then it's a gambling, a lottery. What am I going to get? Are they going to be in a bad mood today? Or are they going to be in a good mood? I hear it all. And I think with that, yes, consistency is so important. And so we spent a lot of time building out an actual grading rubric and handbook that is a literal document that's a ton of pages of every single detail, how we do our grading. We try to be as quantitative as possible too, where we can be okay, if it's we have this many spine ticks, or how many corners have dings, or whatever the spine roll is this level of severity, and however we can measure it and make it very precise and quantitative, I think that's great for the customer because we don't want to be inconsistent. This is this deduction and grade all the time, for this tear, that's this, measurement, is the ideal. But there is always going to be the art and the science. There's going to be, this has just a beautiful aesthetic, and, there's that part that's always going to be a little bit more up to the grader and their expertise and having seen so many comics over so many years, So it is kind of a mix, but consistency is really important, and it's something we audit too. So I have like reporting on like how many 10s are we giving out, how many 9.8s, like what does that distribution curve look like, and making sure that nothing's getting out of whack. You know what I mean?
That's good to hear, definitely. And then one last thing before we go. I know you guys are here at San Diego Comic-Con. What is the major benefit that someone has bringing their comic book here to you, or their cards here to you, as opposed to sending them in the mail?
I mean, I think in general, people can get nervous about sending anything in the mail. Like, there's always that fear of, like, am I going to lose it? Especially if it's, like, something that has a lot of sentimental value or monetary value. So it is nice to be able to actually, like, hand it off to a PSA employee, and we will immediately put it into our vault and, like, keep it safe. And then we're, you know, especially for this show, our office is, like, an hour-and-a-half drive. So it is literally going in an armored truck to our office. Like, it is going to get there. And so it does remove some of that, I think, anxiety with just like shipping. The other thing that we offered at the show is if you gave us your book on Wednesday or Thursday, we have the option to pick it up on Sunday at the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
that's a very fast turnaround time.
I know. So that was kind of a special thing for the show, but the hope is, you know, to get it out to as many people as quickly as possible. We're new, and so we want to
That's really cool,
get this much product out there.
I did see your giant wall of the comic books.
Yes.
And that's so cool.
I know.
Oh.
It's so fun just to like see the product out in the world and on display and having it in people's hands, and excited to hear what everyone thinks.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
Of course.
This is
Thank
so
you.
informative.
Yes. Thank you.
See you guys next time.